Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Office Bloke Daz.
Office Bloke Aidan.
Here we are, Office Bloke Daz Sports Edition, bringing you as much as we can as about sports as possible.
Yep.
Mostly American sports, really, isn't it? North American sports.
Yeah, it all is really.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what we're trying to get our head round. Baseball season's coming round pretty quick.
I'm going to get
March
back into
Madness.
baseball, mate.
March Madness
That's
starting.
exciting.
Yep. But this is the most cursed city in sports. Where do you reckon it is?
I don't know.
Buffalo?
Maybe, yeah, but I wouldn't have thought in sports because there's only the Sabres and the Bills, that's it.
Yeah.
And I don't really know how good the Sabres are, to be honest.
Yeah, me neither. Not sure how they're doing this season, but should we get into it and find out?
Yeah, I'm trying to think, but I can't think of any.
The most cursed city in sports.
There lies in the desert a metro area whose scorching heat is topped only by...
Is it Phoenix?
Well,
Phoenix
could be.
don't win much, do they? Like the teams from like the Diamondbacks recently got to the World Series and lost.
Yeah.
Maybe, but the way that started makes me think somewhere like that.
Yeah.
its immense legacy
Yeah.
of sports failure. Their NBA team has gone 55 years without a championship. Its NFL team owns the largest championship drought in all of football. And its NHL franchise, well, they just suck.
Phoenix.
This is Phoenix, Arizona, the most cursed city in all of sports. The Arizona Cardinals, a franchise whose roots trace all the way back to Chicago, have long grappled with the elusive pursuit of a Lombardi. Despite flashes of success and supremely talented rosters, the team has faced a great many roadblocks in reaching the pinnacle of the NFL. In 1988, the franchise moved from St. Louis to Phoenix, seeking a fresh start in the desert, the geographical trajectory of most elderly folk. The relocation brought about a renewed sense of optimism, and the Cardinals gradually built competitive teams in the following decades after a playoff drought that went on for what felt like eons. Yeah, they really sucked. There was a renewed air of optimism when one of the desert's favorite sons was drafted by the Cards back in 1997. Jake Plummer was a sensation at nearby Arizona State, coming within one drive of a national championship his senior season with the Sun Devils. His second year in the NFL, Plummer and the Cardinals went on an improbable run. And by improbable, I mean they finished with the winning record at 9-7 and a playoff berth for the first time in 14 years. Two of their losses came against Dallas, who, believe it or not, used to share a division with the Cardinals. They were 6-7, but 3 straight wins by a combined 8 points vaulted them into the playoffs, getting into the tournament despite a point differential of -53. In the playoffs, they would meet those same Cowboys, a fading dynasty matched up with the new kids of the NFC. Arizona was a touchdown underdog, and they ended up winning by 13 on the road. They had done it. It was their first playoff victory since 1947. The following week, they lost by 20. That iteration of the Cardinals didn't last. A promising team went 6-10 a year later, then 3-13, as coach Vince Tobin got the boot, and Jake Plummer was sent to Denver. The pinnacle of the Cardinals' prolonged championship chase came back in 2008. Coached by Ken Wisenhunt and led by an aging grocery store employee and the occasional quarterback Kurt Warner, the team made a remarkable run to Super Bowl 43 after finishing the regular season, again with a record of 9-7. Facing the battle-hardened Steelers, the Cardinals were the sentimental favorite against an organization who already had a ring for each finger on one hand. And God knows Captain Fat Fuck didn't need any more jewelry on those dirty digits of his. The Cards could have grabbed the lead at the end of the first half if not for the most remarkable pick six in postseason history. They battled back in the game time and time again, but were undone by the toe tapping of Santonio Holmes. Since that Super Bowl appearance, the Cardinals have faced several missed opportunities to return to championship contention, knocked out in 2009 by the eventual champion Saints, but they were rounding out as an elite unit in the mid-2010s. Carson Palmer had regained his form, but an ACL tear effectively ended their chances in 2014, and a year later they were boat raced in the NFC title game by the Panthers. The Cardinals have never been the same, whether it was spending an early first-round pick on Josh Rosen and trusting their franchise with Cliff Kingsbury.
Just one of them teams, isn't it, the Cardinals? It's like you know,
Never really do much.
Yeah, when you're talking sports and things, you put certain names into sort of like context of like, you know, how well people. Cardinals is just one of them like, yeah.
They're just there to make up the
just
numbers.
Just there making the numbers, yeah. You don't have anything about them, did they? Really? I remember Jake Plummer and all that, you know, when they were coming through and all that, but Just they've never really had anything, have they?
No.
Yeah.
or trying to build a team around Kyler Murray, and they have quite frankly come up short. That pun was very much intended.
Jesus.
The Phoenix Suns, a franchise founded in 1968, have carved out a storied history in the NBA, marked by thrilling highs and heart-wrenching
like
lows. Despite consistently fielding competitive teams, the Suns have yet to secure an NBA championship. The Suns entered the league with a bang, making the playoffs in just their second season. Led by legendary players like Connie Hawkins and Paul Westphal, the team quickly gained a reputation for fast-paced, exciting basketball. The Cinderella Suns of 1975, coached by John McLeod, shocked the league by reaching the NBA Finals, but ultimately fell short against the Boston Celtics in 6 games. In the early 1990s, the Suns experienced a resurgence with the acquisition of the round mound of rebound, Charles Barkley, as a trade to the Suns was way better to him than San Antonio. The 1992-93 season was particularly memorable as Barkley led the Suns on an NBA best 62-20 record and a trip to the NBA Finals against the Bulls dynasty. Despite a valiant effort, the Suns lost in 6 games, leaving fans to wonder what might have been had they not been pitted against greatness. The mid-2000s brought a new era of excitement to Phoenix with the arrival of 2-time MVP Steve Nash. Under coach Mike D'Antoni's 7 seconds or less offense, the Suns became an offensive juggernaut. And yes, that's how I advertise myself on Hinge. Nash, Amari Stoudemire, and Sean Marion formed a formidable trio, consistently making deep playoff runs. However, they faced fierce competition in the eternally loaded Western Conference and
Nash was a
fell
baller,
short
wasn't
of the championship. The Suns had a close call in 2010. Led by Nash and a resurgent Stoudemire, Phoenix reached the Western Conference Finals against the Los Angeles Lakers. The series went 6 games, and the Suns were just 2 victories away from the last step. But they couldn't overcome Kobe Bryant and the Lakers, losing in a tightly contested battle. In recent years, the Suns have undergone a transformation, led by emerging star Devin Booker and the steady leadership of Chris Paul, which eventually gave way to an A-lister in Kevin Durant. The 2021 season saw them make an inspiring run to the big dance, but the Milwaukee Bucks ultimately secured the championship in 6 games. Even after adding Durant, the Suns failed to make a dent in the Western Conference playoffs and continue to wander in the desert, forever ringless. But that doesn't compare to the haplessness of their NHL team. The Phoenix Coyotes, known now as the Arizona Coyotes, have navigated a
All the teams, aren't they? They're all like,
Yeah, pretty much.
right? It's just
I
like
think the Suns have always been that team that's like they've always had times that they've been a really good team, but they've just never won anything. So it doesn't really count.
never the
It's like
bride
Tottenham.
type thing.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like Spurs, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just when you're looking at these, they're not excitable, are they?
Nah.
They're not. None of the teams so far in Phoenix are just like.
The Suns are like they've got good players at the moment to be able to be, especially people like Devin Booker.
Yeah, but these other teams have got just as good.
Yeah.
They're just always there. Again, I don't think the Suns are making the numbers up like the Cardinals are.
No, the Suns will get to the playoffs like most seasons
Yeah.
in recent time and in the future probably.
You just don't think you never put them like at the top, would you? And so like said they're going to win it.
Nah, not right now.
to say tumultuous past since joining the NHL in 1996. Founded in Winnipeg in 1972 as the Jets, the franchise relocated to Arizona and became the Phoenix Coyotes. The move was met with excitement and hope for a fresh start, with the team playing its home games at the newly constructed Gila River Arena in Glendale. Early successes included playoff appearances in the late 90s, but the Coyotes faced difficulties in sustaining their early momentum. They grappled with ownership instability, facing financial troubles that cast a shadow over the franchise. The NHL assumed control of the team in 2009, adding a layer of uncertainty to the Yotes' future in Arizona. Attempts to find a stable ownership group have proved challenging, if not downright impossible, impacting the team's ability to make long-term plans and invest in player development. The threat of relocation for the Coyotes is constant. Efforts to secure a new arena and solidify the team's presence in Phoenix have faced numerous obstacles. After 5 straight postseason appearances at the end of the 20th century, Arizona was absent from the playoffs for 6 straight years. And from 2012 to the present, the Coyotes have made just 1 playoff appearance, a first-round knockout at the hands of the Avs in 2020. Even worse, they're playing their games in a tiny 5,000-seat college arena, waiting for either a new one or to be relocated, truly sitting in
5,000.
It's nothing, is it?
That's really small.
Tiny little, well, depends how many people you got going as well. You could have a 25,000 seat arena and only have 5,000 fans. What would you rather have? I'd rather have a packed out 5,000 seat arena than an empty 25,000 seat.
But you'd expect more than 5,000 to turn up anyway.
Yeah, but it's, again, is it excitable to go and watch the Coyotes?
No. Dante's first circle of hell. There is just one championship in modern history of Arizona sports, and it belongs to the Arizona Diamondbacks.
See,
the
these
Snakes
are
are one of the most recent additions to Major League Baseball. Their inception took place in 1998, and it didn't take them long to hit the ground running. Or, slithering. Their first year in 1998 was spent getting their feet underneath them. Or bellies, whatever. But by just their second year in the league, they finished with 100 wins and collected their first NL West title. By 2001, they were about as stacked as a team gets in the modern MLB. Names like Randy Johnson, Curt Schilling, Mark Grace, Matt Williams, Tony Womack, Steve Finley, and Luis Gonzalez. After edging out the Cardinals and Braves, they found themselves in one of the most dramatic back-and-forth World Series of all time. A 2-0 lead quickly became a 3-2 deficit, losing a trio of games by a combined 3 runs in New York. An atmosphere that was beyond charged in the late fall of 2001. Arizona achieved the first and only of their major sports championships, not with a bang, but with a bloop. It's almost fitting that their one triumph was, in some way, something of a mistake. The Diamondbacks are fresh off of a World Series loss after an improbable run, their first return to the Fall Classic since they won it all in 2001. The Snakes missed the playoffs entirely for long stretches, droughts of 4, 3, and 5 years. In the years they did make the playoffs, the Diamondbacks often left as quickly as they got there. In 2007, they reached the NLCS, but were swept by the Rockies despite holding advantage. In the 9 years after their early title, the NL has become increasingly competitive, with strong teams like the Cardinals, Phillies, and Giants consistently making deep playoff runs. The D-backs just simply couldn't compete with the big boys. And even with the promise of that young team getting so painfully close, the odds are very much against them returning. In many ways, the 2023 Diamondbacks were something of a metaphor for all of Phoenix sports. Fun, flashy, and oh so close. The cursed city of almost wages on.
Interesting.
It was,
some of the history that we were talking about there as well, didn't know.
Yeah.
Where the teams originated from, especially in Chicago, for the Cardinals.
Yeah, it annoys me how 3 of them are called the Arizona, and then you've got the Phoenix, so that needs to be called the Arizona Suns now, so just to make it all.
But like I say, it's one of them, like, I guess all 3 teams there, they're just like, you wouldn't sort of like rush home and sort of say, I'm going to watch the Phoenix game tonight. Or the Arizona game.
From Phoenix,
Diamondbacks did all right in the World Series, didn't they?
Yeah, they did all right this season.
Yeah, it was a good World Series as well, good performance. But just the other ones, I'm just like, bland.
Yeah, I like the Suns. I think the Suns are quite exciting to watch. And the NFL, it can change quite quickly.
Yeah, well, it's I guess Kurt Warner likes living in St.
Like, all you need to do is just get that one good quarterback from either drafted or traded.
Well, they did that, didn't they? With Jake Plummer.
Good again.
They did it with Jake Plummer and didn't win anything.
I know it's easier said than done, but
absolutely. Anyway, let us know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.
Cheers.
Cheers.